Welcome back to Tales. My name is Fumi, and today let us explore the popular JJT Park in Alausa, Ikeja. The JJT Park is a public park located in the heart of the city, which is the government center. This is where the governor's office is, and all the secretariats, the ministry are located here. Now, entry into this park before now used to be free. It was free entry and very little parking, but you could park and just pay maybe say 200 naira to some of the security officials to watch over your car. But the last visit that I made to this park cost me 1,000 naira. I think it's a new development that people are probably not aware of, and I thought to bring it out here to you guys for you to know that it is no longer free and it's not cash payment. It is actually paid. You have to sort of generate your ID code, your tax ID code, before you can make a payment to the government's account. So it's no longer free, but the park is still maintained the same way it is. It's a beautiful park. It's a very, very big park, and it's bustling and pretty much. And the JJT Park has this Mount Rushmore look-alike. Now, this statue has the heads of previous past governors of Lagos State, from the military era to the civilian and also to the democratic era. Even though the democratic statue is now the head of the sitting president of Nigeria and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but it has so many statues of former governors of the state. The park also has about 54 African flags, with the Nigerian flag obviously sitting in the middle and the biggest of it all. It has a large space to picnic. So many people come here to take pictures, to do video, to do content, as we call it. Now, this used to be a fountain, but for some reason it no longer works. This used to bring out water in the past, but I guess that part is not being maintained enough. It is so beautiful. It is so serene. Just adjacent the park is the Lagos State Assembly. This is where the lawmakers make all the laws you read about in Lagos. That is where they sit to deliberate upon it. And on the other side of this park, just adjacent on the other side, is another park called the Kano Ndubisi Park. That is not a free park. Now, this is a ginormous statue of the Eyo Masquerade. The Eyo Masquerade is one of the sort of the revered masquerades here in Lagos that is only meant to come out upon the demise of a king. They usually have festivals as well when that happens, but it's been a while we had that for obvious reasons. Coming into the park, you're allowed to picnic, like I said earlier, bring in your food and your drinks, bring in your mats. But if you don't have any of those, you can either rent a mat to enjoy sit under the sun, or you can even go to have food and drinks. There's an area where you have stores. They sell different types of food, different types of snacks. So yeah, that's the Lagos State House of Assembly that I mentioned earlier. And you're not allowed to go in there if you're not a staff. I feel like we don't have enough statues in Lagos, and so when I see statues, I'm immediately warmed up to the idea of just documenting and telling the stories around them. Now, this is another statue of the current president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The statues in this park sort of feel like remind one of like Oxford Circus, because you find people bringing their children and sitting on the Mount Rushmore look-alike and just taking pictures. We actually have sort of like a place in Lagos where you can go around to do that. So it'd be nice to have something like that, don't you think? The park is pretty safe and very secure. There's so many security operatives around, so many law enforcement officials around. Like I said before, this is the seat of power here in Lagos. So there's so many officials, and for that reason, they usually expect that tourists or visitors live here. They stick to time. So, for instance, if you're here all through the day, once it's 6 p.m., you're allowed to. You're expected to pack your things, and what you have left are just sparrows and seagulls feasting over your left behind. So yeah, once it's 6 p.m, you find people blowing their flutes and whistling and asking people to leave the park. So that's it on today's episode of Tales. Do stay tuned for another episode.